I didn't understand that.
Okay, it wasn't for you to understand, phone. Why are you talking? That is weird.
I don't like how that just happened at all.
I rebuke that series spirit.
You are not
an
not
Apple
cool.
product.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I rebuke that. You acting like an Apple, and we don't do that here, boo. You're Android.
Okay,
Matt. We don't claim that, but yeah. Welcome to Rappin Atlanta. I'm Nita Sharice.
and I'm Nikki.
And in this podcast, we have a frank, honest, and open conversation about the FX show Atlanta.
We have noticed that there are similar features in each show, and during our discussion, we offer our impressions on what those features are. There's a That's So Atlanta moment in each episode that most clearly and accurately depicts the spirit or quirk that is Atlanta and life in the American South.
Dariusisms highlight the special flavor the character Darius brings to the show because he is easily one of the most layered, complex, and compelling characters on television.
There always seems to be a mystical element or some strange thing that happens beyond all logical reason and sometimes scientific explanation. We've all experienced those kinds of moments.
And finally, the SGR moment is very plainly the moment in each show when shit got real and we are reminded that life is not a game and desperation has the power to motivate any and every possible action. Today we'll be discussing Season 3, Episode 10, Tarrare, written and directed by Donna Glover. In Paris, Van runs into an old friend from Atlanta and is forced to take an honest account of her current state of existence in Europe. Van is straight tripping, yo.
Okay. So I immediately thought back to the episode of when they went to Helen and she had that conversation with the girl she grew up with. And she was just like, you just chose the other side. And I chose this one. Remember that conversation?
No.
Thanks for being honest.
I've been like, girl, yeah, she chose us. Like, no.
No, in the episode Helen, when her and Ern have gotten back together and they go on a trip to that Oktoberfest event in Helen, and Van runs into another biracial young lady who she grew up with, and they had this conversation, like she pulls her off to the side. She's just like, oh, you just chose the other side and I chose this one. You know. So I thought back to that. I was like, okay, is this Van choosing the other side? Because I swear, like with her, that wig on, which was this the wig that she stole while she was in London?
So didn't she pull that wig out? No.
Did she pull it out?
Did she ever show us the wig when she told Ern, oh, I found this great wig? No, she never showed us the wig. So I'm just like, is that the wig she stole? Because I know she stole it. And I'm like, why does she look just like Amelie? When the thing came on, I was just like, what is she doing? Yeah. So it's interesting. Like, I think we were kind of sort of thinking along the same lines. I asked if she pulled it out because it's interesting how you like paint pictures in your mind. Because when she said something like, oh, I found this wig, and I'm pretty sure she said something like, it's so rock star or something. I just pictured like something that looked very much like her own hair. Like I just pictured like, ooh, wig, like something big and crazy. So in my mind, I pictured something and then just imagined that she pulled it out. But what I imagined, I said it out loud, like, oh, she's gone full white woman. Because it was like, she literally like, oh, she does not, I thought it was gonna be something where she disassociated and really was never gonna remember that girl. Like, I was like, oh, she's just, because like I was thinking back to how like from episode 3, Old Man in the Tree, when I was like, she's white, like she's just like doing things like without consequence, like, you know, pushing folks into the pool. Later on the show, she says the darkness came over me. And so this is also what's confusing about how much time has passed, or like what time frame we're in. At what point is this happening in the storyline? Because she mentions later on that, oh, a couple of weeks ago I was driving in Atlanta and then I bought a ticket to Amsterdam.
But how the story is progressing with Paperboy and Earn and Darius, is like, okay, what is this?
Also,
what was
photo shoots in magazines?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
But I have been saying that. I have been saying, like, how much time is passing? Because remember in White Fashion, when Darius's stupid ass brings that scavenging ass white bitch to that restaurant,
yeah,
and then in 2 minutes, like, she destroys the livelihood of like a generation of people. I was like, okay, these motherfuckers work fast, but how much time has passed?
Yeah.
Like, I know that this stuff happens quickly. I'm not saying that this is impossible, but literally, like, how much time? And
I don't know.
we're like, well, it happens quickly, but it's like, and then I know she told Darius, when she landed in episode, like in the second half of the premiere, right?
Yeah.
The season premiere, I have a boyfriend, which I'm not saying like, but she has a boyfriend, like, because that seems not truly matter, but it's like, you have a full-on like relationship with this dude, Marcel, like, but y'all seem like settled in. Like, I know the French just be wilding, but like, y'all seem like y'all known each other for longer than 5 minutes. I mean,
so many questions beg. Okay, so at the top of the episode, we are with Candace, Zoja, and Shanice. And they're sitting at the cafe, they're enjoying themselves. We know that they're there because on Candace's dime, because she's getting paid $6,000 to pee on some dude. Like, where do I go to get that type of arrangement?
Some golden showers.
Oh, man, yeah.
We just born at the wrong time, man.
Anyway, then Candace recognizes Van. The question that I'm asking is, Van, who are you? What were you doing? Like, when you were rolling with your homies before you got involved with Ernest, exactly what were you doing? We got a hint of it with Jade. But I'm like, what? You was doing it big, like fucking Alexander Skarsgard big. It made me like her so much more, and I already loved her. But I'm like, girl, what was you doing?
I mean, she just dipped back in. I mean, you just have to be gorgeous and have confidence. I mean, it's not like she did not ever, man, okay, can I get my words together? She always had both of those things. Mm-hmm. She just wasn't like living into those things. She wasn't living into her ministry because she wasn't in that bag. She just reclaimed her ministry.
Well, I think she had a daughter, right? So
and then be messing that up.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, make those moves with a child in tow. That's why co-parenting is amazing, if it comes to that. But yes, I'm like, what were you into? She recognizes Candace, then our crazy day proceeds. Going back to the park, was she painting? Like, this apartment was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It looks like she had an actual original painting on an easel that she was working on. That Candace started.
Stopped, and I was a little upset. Like, can y'all continue with that scene? Like, what did she notice? Because Candace was like mesmerized by something, and I couldn't tell if it was like, oh my God, you're really talented, or oh my God, is that the original Mona Lisa, or oh my God, did you get like I kept pausing it to like, what is she seeing? And then Van like came in, but really quick, before we switch, when it was just focused on the three girls and they were just talking, I got real Ern, Darius, and Al vibes when it was just the three girls talking. Did you? When the three of them were talking, I was just like, why did the three girls talking remind me of the three guys? And I don't know if it's because that girl literally looked like a female Al to me, but like,
no.
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
Like, Brian Tyree Henry was like, yo, this is my sister. I would have been like, yes, she was like a beautiful version of you. Like, or a beautiful female, because I think that Brian Tyree Henry is beautiful, but like a beautiful female version of him. When they were like sitting there talking, like even their personalities, and I think that maybe what put me in that frame of mind is when Shanice was like, let's do something, and then
Zosha was like, oh, cool, bet. Like I saw, I read up on this walk where like you can go like on this walk where you can experience like with Langston Hughes. And she was like, nah, that was like Ern and Al. With like Ern like trying to do something that's like smart and Al being like, whatever. I'm talking about like, let's go see some bitches and such and such. That just reminded me of the two of them. And then before I knew what Candace was tripping over, Candace was really about to fill the Darius role. She was like, hold up. And I was like, does this bitch see a fairy? Because I was like, okay, this is about to be Ern, Al, and Darius. So they gave me those vibes before I realized like, okay, like this is Van. Seriously, I was like, Atlanta is so weird. Before I realized what this episode was about to be, I thought this was going to be some kind of like, okay, what are we doing? Is this like if I were a girl? Is this going to like
oh no,
boys? Please don't do this.
Yeah, I didn't take it like that at all. I was just like, yeah, three chicks in Paris. I'm glad that you went
for it, but I was like, that was real Ern Al energy.
Oh, I'm glad you went back to that point because I like how they specifically reference Langston Hughes and Josephine Baker. Show note alert. Langston Hughes said of Paris, but about France, kids stay in Harlem. The French are the most frank, loving, sue-clutching, hard-faced, hard-work, cold, and half-starved set of people I've ever seen in my life. Heat unknown, hot water, what is it? You can pay for a smile here. Nothing, absolutely nothing is given away. You can pay for water in a restaurant on the use of the toilets. And do they like Americans of any color? They do not. Paris, old and ugly and dirty. Style class, you see more well-dressed people in a New York subway station in 5 seconds than I've seen in all my 3 weeks in Paris. Little old New York for me, but the colored people here are fine. There are lots of us.
Amen. I've never heard that quote, but amen.
Yeah, that's what Langston Hughes said. Josephine Baker, she says,
shut up, Langston.
Okay. She takes the train to Saint Lazare station in Paris because she got there when she was 19. She went when she was 19. He says, and the first thing that hits her is that someone opens the door for her and extends his arm, and it's a white man, and it's the first time that a white person helps her and smiles at her and sees her as a human being and not a Black person. That's why she liked Paris. She mocked, like they did have her playing in some stereotypical shit, but she mocked the stereotypes even. But she felt human in France. That's why she was there. And so I think about that, like, okay, is Van having her experience where she feels like herself, where she feels human? Is she finding herself? That's what I thought of when I did the research,
I'm sure she is. I mean, and we can draw like if you want to draw super basic, simple parallels between her and Josephine Baker, because my first thought, if you look at the differences between Langston Hughes and Josephine Baker, like why they may have different experiences. Langston Hughes wasn't necessarily dark skinned, but he's a man, she's a woman, like she's a beautiful woman. Would she have had the same experiences if she was a dark-skinned Black woman? She probably, if she was a dark-skinned Black woman, would still maybe have a better experience there than she would in America, but would it be the same? No, because you are still presenting as like, you are still a beautiful, lighter-skinned woman. So, I mean, and that's what Van is. Like, there's no way around that. Like, Van is still, they put us in tiers. And if they have to tolerate us or deal with us, and if we're going to go back to that value thing, like one thing that I do notice, like that I can't help but notice, like if you look at Van's friends, and like when we talk about value, like her one friend that I remember from the episode Value, like that is a tall, slender, light-skinned girl, like the kind of life that she's living. She is able to live that way because she is beautiful, but she is a very specific type of beautiful that can move in a variety like of spaces. Like even if she's dealing with athletes that like usually want white women, well, if they can't get their white woman, well, she would be like the next best thing on the line. So I mean, I can't help but think that, and like even how the Candace chick looked, like it's just like there is a certain type that you see in that upper echelon of like I date the athletes and the rappers and the whatever. It's like the people that have to have a thing on their arms, not just calling those women things, but like from those men's
perspective,
points of view. Yeah, like the things. There's like a level of like, ooh, like this thing, and then like this thing. There's a certain way that they look, and there's all sorts of like caveats. If they don't look like that, and they look like that is an obviously like Black woman, that man either doesn't give a fuck, or that woman has her own thing and is garnering respect in some other way.
Black world, she could do that thing. In the white world, she could do something else. We see the something else that she's doing, but it doesn't seem like it's what she originally envisioned, because again, it is not Amelie. Like, I don't remember every detail of that movie, but I know it wasn't like that.
No, but it was very just like, I'm gonna do this. Like it is a thing of like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do, which to me equals whiteness and like white. Like being a white girl. It's
very happy-go-lucky, free. You know, anything could happen, and at the end there will be love. You know, that's what the movie was.
I mean, to me, that's what it's always been, to be a white girl. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like what you do, ever. Like it always works out. Like from I can jump in the pool, I can get caught in the rain. Like it doesn't matter. Like thinking from a very young girl, like what it meant to me, like being a white girl means you can go to a pool party and it doesn't shut down your entire weekend. To being older, you can act however you want, and there's nothing cast upon you, like no judgment, even when you're in the place where it's all about judgment, like at church.
Oh, like you're talking about how like you can have a pornographic video get out, made and broadcast by your mother, and become the model for half of the teenage girls in America. You can do that when you're white, or you can bed hop from rap guy to basketball star, and then fuck some crazy dude on a comedy show and get your own new television show and whatnot and make more money.
And have Black men and pull Black men. So you can literally pull the culture from Black women and the men. Not that we own the men, so fuck all of you that are just like trying to have a problem. I rebuke that Kevin Samuel spirit. Rest in something. You
a lot of rebuking today.
Yeah. Sleeping in the airport does. You can literally pull the culture. You can take everything, including the men, and just like pull everything like from the women. But if those same women were to do the same thing, if we heard about a Black girl doing that and then her mama being behind it, we would be responsible for like why every nigga is shooting each other, let a Black woman do anything, you know. But if you fat and over 35, like, well, you're the reason why, whatever.
Candace knows that something is terribly wrong. What I hated is that they didn't show the text messages she was getting, but it all looked like the same message, just from different people. So I'm just like, who's messaging her? Why isn't she responding? Candace attempts a couple of times to pull her into a private conversation away from Shanice and Zoja. Just no, suddenly she does get a message. She reads it. She says, "Oh, I gotta go. This reminds me." You know, so they're on, next thing you know, they're on mopeds. She takes the baguette with her at the beginning. So the forethought is there. The plan is already in her head, which again makes me love her more. But Evil Van, I love Evil Van. I want to see more of this person.
It was so interesting. It was so random. It was like I was watching a blaxploitation film. Like I love how they just cut to like, now we're on mopeds, and I'm like, there's a second moped. Like just nothing made any sense. It was just, I was like, oh, she just had another one for the other two.
I think you can rent them. They should be easy to rent, right?
Yes. It was just funny how it was just like, okay. It was just so. It just, I felt like I was watching one of those movies that are just kind of like cut weird, where it's just like, and now we're doing this. Like, okay.
Yeah, I was rolling around. I was like, yes, I want to be on this adventure. This is my kind of way to spend a Saturday. But okay, so I love Van's face as she's riding the moped. She's just like,
yeah, like I was just like, yeah, something is so wrong.
She goes to this very ritzy place. I love how Zoja and Shanice comment on the baguette, like, what the fuck is the baguette about? Is
I
it security?
That would be me.
Yes.
They were me. Those two people, they were like, I mean, because I was thinking that. And at one point, they didn't say it like this, but they were me. Like at one point, they said something to the effect of like, I mean, she mean, she's not gonna put that baguette down. Like it was like, I was like, this is Black girl, Black woman, very auntie, like, thank you. But I also loved how it was like, even if the baguette didn't end up like serving a real purpose, it was also just like, this is France. And like every time you see any kind of
yes, they have a baguette.
Like it just has a baguette. And like, I used to always think like, man, that person has been running a lot of errands. Like, I know you don't wash bread, but like, y'all gonna eat that at the end of the day because it's bread.
Yeah, because it's not wrapped up. It's never wrapped up.
It's never wrapped.
Yeah, like
even irritate my mom. Like
in the grocery store, it's in the little bag. So, but like they don't have the bags in France.
The part is sticking out. It's like y'all go to the grocery store and then y'all go a bunch of places and then you go home and people do not rinse bread off. Like that's not a thing. Like
and see, there's another thing that happens later on in the episode that I wonder if you noticed too. But she but she takes the baguette to this and she's walking in and she's greeting everyone and it is very Amelie-esque because everyone knows her and loves her and whatnot.
Oh my God, you're so thoughtful. Oh my God.
Yes. And she just walks through that wedding photography shoot and whatnot.
Nobody's mad. Like
no, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, and then so we go and Alexander Skarsgard is in his hotel room listening to Ashanti.
It was so funny because it was like, this is so outdated. Yeah. And he was doing that awkward dancing where it's like, it's almost right, but it's so wrong.
Then he asked him, Ashanti was still with Nelly.
It's
no.
Like so behind. It's like, you just discovered her, huh? Like, no, she's not with Nelly. She's not even hot right now. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's still touring. And go ahead, girl. Like, you're still beautiful. You're still keeping it tight. But Ashanti is not it right now. Like,
no.
So behind. It's about Doja Cat now. Like, come on, man.
The next song was No Letting Go. What are you doing? He's having his own. He had on some leopard print bikini underwear, dancing around like, "Hey, why don't we all get naked?" They were like, "No," but he was like, "Well, maybe." He's like, "Yeah, you can do that. We cool with that."
But I loved how he was also cognizant of the fact that it was 2022 because he said it, but then he was like, okay. Like he also knew, like, well, wait a minute, am I being gross? Like, it's like in his mind, he thought it was the year of whatever year it was when Ashanti dropped that song, but he also knew like he couldn't be a man of that time because a man of that time wouldn't have been like, okay, I'm sorry. It just would have been like, what? Fuck bitches and get money. Like he also knew like, am I going too far? I'm sorry, Black girl magic. It was just no perfect. It was no perfect because he said it and it was like, no, unless you want to. Or,
like the
totally
consent. Yeah.
Because I was kind of like, but I just loved that it was him because and I even Googled it to see like what is the chatter online about him because he's always been and I never discussed him with any other Black woman, but he's always been like one of those men that you can tell that like he wouldn't be like the first white guy that you would think of that Black women would want, but you can tell he isn't somebody that we'd be like, ugh. But it's like, okay, yeah.
Whether he was Nordic or not, there's a lot of men that just belong to that camp. He's attractive enough for me to use his head as a chair, and then you just kind of discard him. So I love how Van plants the drugs on him and whatnot. She's like, she's doing. Again, this is making me wonder, like, okay, is this a job that you're doing too? Like, so is this your version of peeing on him? Because when she said, oh, this is something that we do every week, it's fine. She has a partner. She describes the Marcel in the picture as her partner. But Alex Skarsgård, she's just like, oh, I have to go and do something. So it seems like it's another errand to get money. It's something that he paid her to do.
Yeah, but I mean, unless she was lying, she did also tell the girls like, oh, it's fine. We do this to each other every week. And then after he discovered it and he said, no, I'm not going to get that Baby Shark movie and she spit in his face, he went and jerked off. So it made me wonder, like, maybe this is their kink.
That's why I said, is she getting paid to do this? Just like Candace is getting paid to pee on the dude.
Oh, like paid by him to do it.
Yes. Is she getting?
I thought you meant paid by someone else.
No.
Okay. Because what it made me think about was like, is this because what I first thought when I first watched it, because I think I've watched this thing like 8 times because the airport just kept coming on. So I just kept watching it. The other thing I thought about was like, I was like, oh, is this like, I know that this was a dream, but it was like, is this like a satellite of the cancel club? I was like, is she literally like working for the cancel club? I was like, because this is how you can get canceled. Like when she like threw all that stuff, why is Alexander Skarsgård doing anything where you can't see him and like what he's known for?
Maybe
like,
it's
I'm gonna lose that Baby Shark, and he's mad about it.
Maybe it's a live action Baby Shark movie. Now I just thought about like he would not have gotten canceled for those drugs, because look at Robert Downey Jr. So like, no, it was a
white man, right?
Yeah, it was fun, and it was definitely a part of the game, because like later on when he comes walking out of that suit, you already almost fucked me. I almost didn't get that movie. Like he's acting even as he's doing this, so you know it's
hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny, and I the cameos this season, chef's kiss.
One more thing about him. The movie Passing. I don't know what the timing was on the shooting of Passing and the shooting of this, but him being in that room with those Black women just reminded me of that scene in Passing when I can't remember her name. Thompson. When Tessa Thompson goes to visit her friend Ruth Nega, who's actively passing as a white woman, and she goes up like to her flat or her hotel room, whatever it is, and then the husband comes up, though, because they're in New York, right? Yeah, that movie is set.
The first scene when she's trying to shop and buy her kid a toy, and she's passing in the department store, and then she runs into her, and then they go up to the hotel room, and her husband is there too, and they have that really uncomfortable conversation. Yeah.
Okay, so but him being in that room like that, you know, I know that they were in Europe, but like that really well lit, nice room. I was like, this is so funny, because he's in Passing, he's in a room with these 2 Black women. You know, I realized, you know, that the situation, the racial makeup, but they're 2 Black women as far as I'm concerned. And now he's in this room in like a very different setting, but he's with these Black women, and it just reminded me of Passing, and it made me wonder, like, I wonder what is the time frame. What was the time frame in which these 2 properties were being shot, as far as like, you know, like, was it around the same time? It sometimes makes me wonder when these episodes are being planned out, you know, thought out, and they were making the decision to like, hey, let's get so-and-so for this, you know, like you kind of have to wonder, like, if you're thinking of, we know what the beats of this are going to be, who will be like a really good person, because you know that when they're choosing people, they have something that they want to say.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, like it's a bit of stunt casting. It does make me wonder if there was a reason behind pulling him.
I'm sure it was very intentional. Again, Donald Glover, you know, he's not stupid, and he has something to say.
I just thought that it was cool, because I was like, why does this? Because when I saw him, you know, it's this well lit, like very nice, just this really beautiful room, you know, like him with these Black women. Except, I mean, very different like feel and attitude. The other scene was super tense. Like, you know, this man can't know that anybody in this room is Black. And then the other one, he's like reveling in like, yeah, Black women. It was so different. I'm like, this is
the women are obviously like, Black. They're rocking natural hair. They're dark skin. He's referencing, maybe those were Alexander Skarsgård's 2 favorite Black songs.
He's like, it's like he'd been listening to only that song
all
day.
Like,
yeah, this is on purpose. Like the last thing he wanted was for his wife to be Black, or did he? Because he also called her out of her name, and we all know that even though they acted like, oh, that's the last thing I want it, usually that couldn't be further from the truth. It's like you also did want it, and that's what you hated, because people are fucking crazy. But anyway, I just thought that was like a nice little touch.
And then the lyrics to No Letting Go are even more interesting, though, when you like make that passing comparison. So No Letting Go by Wayne Wonder. Got somebody, she's a beauty, very special, really and truly takes good care of me like it's her duty. Wants you right by my side night and day. No letting go, no holding back, because you are my lady. When I'm with you, it's all of that. I'm so glad we've dated. So juxtapose that. It's like, no, I won't accept any type of woman like this. Like, no, I'm not letting go of you. You're everything. Good one, Donald Glover. Good one. Okay, so Van litters the hotel room with cocaine. When she goes and pours out the powder, I'm like, really? Like, what are you about to do? Because like, she about to snort it. Like the first time I watch it, like, what are you doing? Then when she sprinkles the pipe and the, like, was it meth? Meth crystals all around. She's like, okay, we gotta go. When he comes to the door, it's like, Vanessa, you're so cold-hearted. Vanessa, like, it was such acting.
It was over the top.
Yes.
Like, what is wrong with him? He's so stupid. And I could not take him seriously. It is like, no. Okay, you are acting, capital A. What's my motivation?
Yeah.
Like when he says the one line with the, well, you know, I don't want to spoil it. He was hilarious. I loved him.
Yeah, it was a nice touch, and it just adds to like the overall strangeness of the episode anyway. Yeah. So then she goes down to the hotel, the hotelier or the concierge, and is like, oh, you had to go, he's doing drugs again. Yeah, like, how many times have they done this?
So you must go up and say him. But now that you say the thing about it being an act, that does kind of explain, like, outside of just like the French being French, why the woman seemed to just be like not concerned. Because she like, when Van like kind of raised her voice, she did kind of move a little faster, but she was just like, there was no like kind of like, oh, she's doing this again. Like, there's nothing wrong. There was no reaction.
But you know, I mean, I'm guessing that at certain hotels, because I know, like, say like your anniversary comes up, you could do something special where they, you know, they have this, make this arrangements in your room. You know, you can go to the concierge of a very nice hotel and pay for those extras. So there's no telling what wealthy people, you know, depending on what kinks they're into. Yeah. can pay to have the hotel arrange, you know, and coordinate and whatnot. So anyway, everybody's perplexed. Candace is just like, okay, this bitch has lost her fucking mind. But is this the point where they go to the hood? Do they go to the hood to because she's got the keys. So the keys are to open the back of the moped, right?
Yes, and then she sees and she says, Emilio fucked me. He fucked me. He fucked me.
Yeah. Before that, when they get to the hood, she's like, wow, this is like Candyman. She's like, it is, isn't it?
Well, first she says, it's beautiful. She's, isn't this beautiful? And they're like, no, does it look like Candyman? It does, doesn't it? And it's like it's basically like, this is not beautiful.
Yeah.
Because when she says it's beautiful, I'm like, no, it is not. Like, this is ugly.
No, it looks really suspect.
It's super sketchy. And it looks like Clockwork Orange shit is about to happen. Like, I was waiting for Usher to come out singing, she looks it my way. My way. Like, it really looked like something is about to happen. Either the Jets or Usher is about to come out.
I love that. Yeah. When they say, should we just stay here? She's like, I wouldn't. So she knows what's up. And then she makes that comment, oh, that's not the way dead things smell. Like, yeah, how much dead shit have you been smelling?
That thing should not smell like that. It's like, oh my God, man.
Like, yeah, what's going on? And that's when they start yelling out that name, Tarrare.
And so says it's the man that ate the baby.
Yeah, so, you know, there is the actual person. He was a cannibal. He had a voracious appetite. He did not gain weight. He ate and constantly, and then he started eating people.
And they said that I read further until I couldn't anymore because gross, but
Yeah, it was gross.
There may have been like something wrong with his amygdala, actually, like in his brain. Like there was something in like that was missing from his brain, I guess, to tell him like stop. Like I don't know if they like continue to like do research like years and years after to like get to the bottom of whatever, but like I kept reading about him. And in one of the articles that I came across, it was like, yeah, something's probably wrong with him. I'm like, you think? Like, this isn't normal.
I'm just wondering, how did he not get sick after eating people? Because usually people, like in Papua New Guinea, there was a tribe of people who practiced this thing where was it Papua New Guinea? It was someplace not here. There was this practice of when a loved one died, instead of burying them, the women would eat them because they felt like the women were vessels for like important spirit energies. And so they would eat the dead because they didn't want they wanted the bodies of their dead ones honored, and they didn't think it was honorable for the worms to eat them. So the women ate them. And then the women started developing this disease where they would shake uncontrollably, and then that would lead to death. So they were just like
that kind of flattering that you do, like when you say like, oh, I don't want to wash your dishes because like you just do it so much better than me. That sounds like that kind of flattering. Like, you know what, y'all eat the dead because your bodies are just made for honoring the spirits. It's like, nah, nigga, I think that your body is especially made for honoring shit.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I see what you're saying, and yeah, I don't disagree, but also like life comes from women, so should it not also end there? I could see them applying that logic, but whatever.
That's one of the things where I'd be like, nah, I think that you
it's like I think
that you go ahead and give it a try.
You go ahead and eat cousin George, because I wouldn't fucking with him like that. It,
so you can end this shit.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, tangent. I'm wondering why this fool never got the shakes, or maybe he did. I don't know. I really, I don't care to learn any bit more beyond why it was used in
gross.
This.
Don't read about it. I don't know why I was. Again, stuck.
We'll include a link in the show notes. Anyway, so yeah, they start calling her Tarrare, and she's just like, oh yeah, he's the man that ate the babies. She's so chill with it. They're like, oh, it's come to this. Oh, well, if this is the way it goes, this is the way it goes. Pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking. Then, so it looks like everybody's gonna die, because they've disabled the mopeds and whatnot. But then some little conflict happens, and Van takes full advantage to run. She's like, "Run, bitches!"
Yeah, she's like, Van. Well, I have to say that part. Maybe it's an Amelie thing, but this is probably maybe like the one time in this entire season I was a little irritated because it made no sense to me. It irritated me. Like this has got to be the one time, because I have started reading what people have been saying about the episodes, and I had to stop because y'all some simple motherfuckers. Like people are like, what's happening? What do these episodes have to do? I'm sorry, but y'all are simple. Like these episodes are connected. Y'all are simple. Sorry, we're smart. You're stupid. Y'all are fucking simple. But yeah, sorry. You're simple, and if you don't get it, it's simple. And your mama's simple too, and that's why y'all simple. So maybe it's not your fault, but don't procreate. And if you have, blessings on you and your children, because y'all simple. But anyway, that was the one time that I was aggravated, like in this whole season 3, because that irritated me. So like maybe if you say, oh, well, this is in the style of this director, but sometimes it would have shit happen that was not connected, then okay. But that was the one time where I was like, all right, what the fuck was that? Like that irritated me. And then I was fine, because unless it was just a device for them to get away, it just seemed a little random, and it irritated me just a little bit, because I was like, okay, who were these guys to her? What? And then like the thing with the car, while funny, just randomly seeing like, what the hell, what is going on in the back? I mean, it just looks funny because the car just, it goes in reverse, and it just hits the person, but like not that hard. It just bumps into them.
Okay.
And it was like this person kind of got hit by a car, but like not seriously. And it was more like, ow. And then it's just this thing happens, so it's funny. And then they go away, but it's like, who stabbed, like who put the knife in the tire? It was just kind of random, and it irritated me because it seemed unnecessary. So as a one time that I was mad, I was a little bit irritated because it just seemed like y'all wrote some bullshit in there for no reason. But I'm okay. I'm all right.
So I watched a lot of foreign films. This whole scene was very French and very Mexican, like in the way that it's shot and in the way that the story progresses and whatnot. But to me, it was to demonstrate that she's been doing this shit for a while, to where she's built up a reputation for coming to the hood and getting what we later find out is human hands. And when we go to the kitchen, we see all the human hands are hands of color. So she's going into the hood and she's taking advantage of people in the hood and taking their hands. Oh my God,
Ben.
Yes. So, and this is, maybe this was something. Now at the end, she says, I'm not doing this shit anymore. You know, she says, I'm not doing this shit anymore. So it might have been Marcel who was making all of this happen. Because remember, he's the one cooking the fucking hands. So anyway, they're taking advantage of poor people in the hood. Now, and I think the whole situation where the guy in the car backs into the other guy, it's the fucking hood. Wild shit goes on down in the fucking hood. So just like they might have been mad at her, it's like, we're gonna stop this bitch coming down here.
Because you coming down here taking our hands.
Taking people's hands and shit, getting people killed. Because what happens?
They took hands.
Yes.
They were literally trying to clap back.
Yeah, they were literally trying to clap back. Okay. So yeah, the fact that she
need to ask for forgiveness, because for a minute I was as simple as you motherfuckers. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And that
oh my God.
Wow.
That was a journey. That was a journey.
Wow.
Woo! I almost missed that whole thing. But you know what, motherfuckers? I haven't had any sleep. You motherfuckers just be like that. So whatever, I'm absolved.
So Van's whole thing, she's pissed. She hasn't gotten the hands. She's almost gotten killed by the people who are tired of her taking the fucking hands. And she has no hand to show for. So she's trying to text to see what the fuck is up. Now, did she have some foresight? Because again, she's got her baguette with her. Obviously, she had some foresight that some crazy shit could go down. And we later on learn that this is not the first time that she's used her baguette.
Yeah, she's been leaving that shit out for days, apparently.
No, she said 6 months. No, she said 6 months. What happens? Yeah. So she finds Emilio. Emilio's at her boyfriend's place, which is a museum. So then again, it just reiterates she is moving in the upper echelons of society, to where this dude is running a museum and he could just dismiss people in the museum while his boyfriend gets beat with a fucking baguette. Now, I thought it was very funny. And again, hats off to Donald Glover's writing, because the French word for bread the French word for bread is pain. So
like pain.
Yeah. It's pain, but it is like it's PAIN, which is pain to us. So the bread was very much about pain.
It was about Lupin.
Oh man, I would love to beat somebody with a 6-month-old baguette. That seemed like that shit was satisfying. Yes. She hit him right in the fucking head. It seems like she kept hitting him in the head. How satisfying could it be? When she put the baguette down on the floor, it was,
and the guy knew. He was like, okay, everybody out. Like he was
yeah. I see what's coming.
Everybody out. Like he didn't even say like, okay, Vando, you've got to leave. He was like, okay, patrons out.
She did it. It was just so automatic. It was so routine. Like, yeah, this type of shit happens every day. Like she owned that shit. And yeah. And then the girls offered the commentary in the background. I was like, ooh, that was worth the wait.
It was like, it was worth the wait. I love that actress. Don't have her name off the top of my head, but I love her. She's everything that she's in. She's so good.
Zosha Rockmore. That's her name, Zosha.
Oh, they use her real name. Okay.
Yeah. And then who played Shanice? Shanice Castro. So
they just use their real names.
They're real names. I love it.
The other girl's name must be actually Candace then.
Well, let me see.
I did not remember.
No, her name was Adrienne Ray. Candace is Adrienne Ray.
That's right. I didn't remember her from the other episode though.
I don't think they were on the other episodes.
No. People were saying that Candace is from Champagne Poppy.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like, remember her from Champagne Poppy, because you know how she said, Van is my friend from Atlanta. And when I read something like a recap from this, they said, remember her from Champagne Poppy.
Well, she gets the package back from Emilio after beating him and apologizing to his fiance.
But the vase though was funny. That little thing.
Sell the vase. Why'd you break it? I don't know. It was dramatic. Like, why not?
Yeah, like she was like swept up. She was like, oh my God, he just beat this motherfucker with some bread. She said to get the vase, and she's like, yeah, like I want to do something too. And she just breaks it, and she's just like, no.
The other one. Just get it.
Because it hurt her too. Like, oh my God, that was a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I know I just killed somebody, but oh my God, that was no.
She didn't kill him. I mean, he'll live.
Whatever. But it was like, I know I just like it so that Violet, but that face was gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a work of art. It was an heirloom.
What is the matter with you? I was like, I want to do something too. I want to destroy something too.
I loved it. This entire adventure.
Oh my God, that was so good.
So then they actually go to the party. They get a car and they go to the party. And when they first walk in, you know, I don't know, like, I guess Candace is well, a good friend would be bothered. Like if you were doing all that shit, I guess I would be like, no, we're not going to this fucking party. We need to sit down and talk to this. Yeah.
I was irritated with her at first. Like at first I was like, let them live. But, you know, I guess I wasn't being worried about Van, because I kind of was just like, tear up Van. But then later I was like, oh, I guess you got to be a friend. Like, you know, like she is. It took me to like the third watch to be like, oh, okay. She's worried about Van. Like this is normal. But
this bitch she's been leading them on an all-day adventure to harvest human hands. There's something very wrong about that. So
in the moment when she was like, we weren't invited, it was like they literally were just invited. Like I think I was distracted by the fact that it's like, yes, they were. Like the lady said, and your friends. Like they obviously were not imposing. Like this wasn't like one of those situations where it was like, oh, you forced them. It was like, oh, please, like more people. Like they wanted to spread the hand gospel to everyone.
But
like,
would you have seriously been game to be any more of these people? Like between Alexander Skarsgard, he's a star, yes, but he was fucking weird. And then, you know, almost getting killed in a French hood. Not really like my way of spending a vacation. That wouldn't be my top choice. And then, you know, watching your friend beat somebody with a fucking old piece of bread.
If I were Candace, no. But at that moment, watching it the first couple times, I was identifying more with the other two. Yeah, like,
and so was I. And whether I was Candace, I feel like if you were doing that, I would be like, okay, let me see how I can help if I need to. But also, we shouldn't do this anymore. Like, can we stop? Like, this is not cool. So I see both sides of it. You know, just like that. I mean, you're my ride or die. So I feel like it would be the wise thing to do to help you where I could, but also to get you to stop.
And that's interesting. I'll say more on it like when we wrap it up. Because the more I watched it, the more I started to like identify with her a little bit more.
Okay. I did not expect Van to like immediately take off her little Amelie coat and then put on an apron and start cooking. That bitch didn't wash her hands. And I'm like, she just gonna start cooking food for people and now there was no hand washing.
She half white, ain't she?
Wash your fucking hands before you go cook any food. White, black, whatever. Just wash your fucking hands, okay? Wash your goddamn hands. Please do not go into a restaurant, cook something for somebody and not wash your fucking hands. Please wash your fucking hands. Please stay wash your fucking hands. Use soap. Sing happy birthday while you're doing it. Wash your fucking hands. That's all I want. That's what I wanted from her. Okay.
One Mississippi that shit to 10.
Yeah. Or again, like I said, you can sing it. You can sing the One Mississippi to 10. You could just wash your fucking hands. So she's cooking. She comes in. She doesn't wash her hands. She like dry humps Marcel right there in front of her friend.
My friend's like, okay.
Does she? I I watched it several times, but I still didn't pay attention to whether or not she gave him the package, but I'm guessing that she did. But we see in the kitchen there's hands hanging from the rack. They're all hands of color, like I mentioned before.
I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah. So then they have this conversation because Van refuses to have this conversation with Candace by herself, and that's very telling. It's like, honey, what are you running from? Why don't you want to face this friend and talk to her for real?
That's
Do you know she's gonna
knows her?
Yeah. And so like the comment she made about like, you don't control me, like, was her friend really trying to control her? Like, what's going on with you, girl? Like, so when she asked her, what are you going to do? Like, how is Lottie involved in this? Because I don't think she's ever stopped to think about her daughter. Like what, like, has she completely given up that life? Like, and that's another thing, because I know as fellow Black moms, there are times when you're just like, oh my God, I've taken on this task of bringing up this child in this fucked up world. And I did not know, and I need to go back. I need to go back, but there's no one doing it. And that's why momcations are necessary. That's why you have to do those self-care days. You have to take the time to regroup with yourself, and get a hold of whatever it is that you think you might be thinking that prevents you from being the best parent you possibly could be. Because once the kid is there, you got to do the job. you got to do the job, but I feel her on this. I've been there as a parent. I feel her, I don't think I would go start stealing fucking hands from Finch Hoods to feed the rich people. But hey, to each their own.
Yeah, that was a lot. Like, and they just went straight into it. I was so glad that it wasn't like that they just got into it, and that it wasn't like that they weren't too Atlanta about it. Like, I was really hoping that it wouldn't be like one sentence where we would have to like figure it out. I was like, I'm so glad that you did more telling, because I love y'all, they were super smart and like we could figure it out. But I'm so glad that we didn't have to like catch a glimpse of like the cover of a parenting book that she was reading, and then be like, oh, she was reading about this person and this person, and we went and like we found an article and then dropped the link. It's like, oh, she just said it. Like, I wanted to die. Like, yeah. Yes, because I haven't done that, like what she said, but just that feeling of like an escape, maybe, like it's so much. And, it has nothing really to do with Earn, but like you feel alone sometimes. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not in a co-parenting situation. Like you could be in a situation where like, the person is right there and you still just feel alone, whether that's of your own doing, because we can do that sometimes too, and like take it all on, and like we aren't verbal, but like even when we are verbal, it's still just somehow it still just falls to you, because even the kids will still just like, they pass up the other grown-up that is sitting right there. They will walk over that one's face and come to you. Like you could be literally holding 25 things and the other person is standing there holding literally a box that says, this box has nothing in it and I'm not doing anything. And they will be like, nah, I'm going to my mama. Like, it's just like, that's just how it is. And sometimes you just feel like, I made a horrible mistake, never thinking that your child was a mistake, but it's like, I feel trapped, and so I like, it hit me every single time, but right around like the 7th watch, I was like, just like, just like also empty airport.
Yeah. Oh, you did. I'm sorry. You had a rough night, neither Cherise.
The other this man was sitting there with his walkie-talkie and was just like, are you okay? Like, poor man is just trying to like do his job and secure the perimeter. I was like, you're waiting for someone. I was like, yeah, it's my flight. it comes in 4 hours, So I'm just like, okay. But like it was just like I totally like I get that feeling, especially when she said that she picked up Lottie and like it looked like Lottie just knew.
Mm-hmm.
I have experienced that. And then when she went further and said, like, how could she even have thought about doing that to her? And then you feel like another wave of guilt. Like, how could you? And then it's just that guilt. It's like guilt about like even feeling that,
Mm-hmm.
like you're just constantly berating yourself for not being overjoyed to be a mother 24/7. And then how could you even consider that? And then like, do you realize that if you were successful at what you thought about attempting, this child wouldn't have had her mama.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I knew what that felt like. And so of course that one, maybe not exactly that, like from that to the hands is a lot, but like but still
It's a lot.
it's like, but then to be personal, just for me, where I never thought about selling hands, and if I was gonna sell hands, it'd probably be like white hands, so touche. But for me, it would have been like if I was gonna wild out like that, it would be like me mourning okay, now I'm a mother, but I didn't do enough crazy, and now I'm a mother. I could see you being like, all right, I'm gonna go with you now a little bit because I'm happy that you're doing shit. Great. I don't understand. Like, so I could see you kind of like maybe until I bludgeon somebody like half to death, then maybe you might step in. I don't know.
I think there's a line that I would draw, because I'm like, okay, we need to get you back safe and sound to your child who needs you, and you need her. And make sure that you ain't got no felonies, like you ain't got no guns with no bodies on them or whatever. We just hide all the evidence, and so that way you can go back to parenting without feeling any guilt, because then there was the guilt that you had to deal with it. But like, yeah, we would help you transition out of that lifestyle.
It's fine. But
definitely help you.
So that was my entry point in like where I kind of identified with like, oh shoot, I did this and like didn't like live enough like that. So I feel like Van did live, because like Jade makes reference to like you used to be and you used to be. So I think she did, but I do get the sense from her that like there's something that it's like she didn't do something enough. So that's where I kind of feel like I identify with her.
Oh, my God.
Shoot, like I didn't do enough.
I'm telling you, I lived. Oh, I've lived, and I had fun. And even after kids, I still wasn't done, So like in the universe's infinite wisdom, things are set up to where I could still like, I could be the parent I need to be to my kids, but also have like a mom life balance. There needs to be a mom life balance.
Yeah.
And so I feel I'm appreciative for them approaching that topic, and then again, like we're not even talking about in terms of race, but then you add the racial component to it. Yes. Raising a Black child in America, sometimes you do want to escape, in several different ways, because it's heavy. It is so heavy.
It is another mantle. It is another thing to hold. We were just talking about that on our own, like that extra layer, and then breaking it down even further by gender, by Black boys as opposed to girls. They're both heavy. So like the intersectionality when it comes to the girls, and then like even further with just like the expectations, like the expectations if it is a boy and then a Black boy, like there's intersectionality like on both sides, especially as we delve deeper into like, well, what is considered boy girl, like there's even more that our kids are going to grapple with, that we have to grapple with, but that they're going to grapple with in ways that we didn't, because we're kind of at the point where it's like, yes, I respect that and see that, but I'm kind of at a point where it's like, I don't have to get that deep into it because I am who I am right now. Like my responsibility is to respect it and not being asked to people, and to respect it for you, but I know how I'm gonna be like for the remainder of my life.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You
Yeah.
know, but for them,
it's a different
it is a different story. And I need to make sure that I'm right so that I can receive whatever it is that they're gonna be like, hey, like this is what, so I'm not like, wait a minute, as for me in my house, we niggas, like, you know, like, so I'm not on some kind of ignorant shit like that.
Well, okay, so do we quickly go to the scene where Zoja and Shanice are at the table. They've been given that introduction about le main, which literally means hands.
Name.
Yeah. And they're eating. They're like, oh, it smells so good. Like, oh, they hear Van screaming and they're like, somebody's screaming. And then they take the, like, what? These are fucking hands. They start retching. They had eaten some of those hands because there's fingers.
A little bit.
Though they each ate at least a finger. You could see on the plate. And again, these people are just sitting around the table. They ignore the screams. They're eating the food and like, yeah,
maybe they know.
They know. I mean, le main means hands. Then Alexander Skarsgard comes in. All right, where are these little hands?
But so when they bought the cover over, it made me think about you watched Succession, right?
Yeah.
That
yes,
that one crazy scene.
Yes,
the link in where it was like hide the shame and heighten the pleasure. Like was the thing that it was Tom and the two idiots, Tom and Greg. Like I named the link "Rich People Eat Weird Shit." But like it was these songbirds, these like rare songbirds, and like they're in this restaurant.
And they're still inside the egg, right? Aren't they cooked inside the egg or some shit like that?
I don't know if they were inside the egg, because in the scene, like unless it's like half the egg, because in the scene that I saw, you could see the bird's head in the body. So maybe they bought it out in the egg. I'm not sure, but I watched it like this morning, and you could at least see like the top part. And they bought it out. So maybe it starts off in the egg. I don't know. And it's like you put the waiter comes out and they put the napkin over your head to heighten the pleasure, but hide the shame, because it's a songbird that you're eating. And the way it was deep fried, I'm like, it's so chunky looking. It was so nasty. But like,
but why did they? What? But also, it didn't look like there were bones in it. So I'm guessing, like well, what happens to the bones? Maybe they debone it, or maybe it's just it wasn't actually hands. It was just for, you know.
Well, I mean, but if you're thinking in a cooking sense, it looks deboned, like when something is deboned.
Oh God. Okay. Gross. Yeah. Gross. Okay.
But when you framed it in that way, like that made much more sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, of course they are.
Yeah.
Just trying on and consuming.
We come to the end of the episode where, you know, Candace sticks with her friend Van. Van has removed the wig. She's herself again. You know, she's ditched the stupid accent. And she's just like, well, don't you have to go pee on somebody?
Yeah, she's like,
and of course it's Shanice, because she was down. She was just like, oh, you selling drugs? Let me get some Molly. Like, she's like, oh, I fucks with the baguette now. Like, she is so down for whatever.
She's down for everything. I loved her.
Yes.
I loved her. Shanice is like who I was on the inside when we would be doing shit. I wouldn't say it. That's why I was never like, ew, no. I would just be like, not necessarily do, but I was cool. But it's who I am outwardly now.
Yeah.
But can't always. I'm just like, well, I support it. I have a kid now, though. But like,
I get it. I appreciate you, girl.
I loved her.
Appreciate
and
you.
I also appreciate how she passed the bag on. It's like, okay, let her get that 6,000.
Yeah, that was nice. But she obviously had a lot of pee, because she peed for a long time.
She drank 2 Powerades for lunch, girl.
The point where the guy's like, okay, stop, he's gurgling.
I liked how he looked at her and he saw her and he was like, nice. I appreciated that. Like, that's right. Appreciate that big bulldog sister. She was gorgeous.
Her hair was amazing.
She was gorgeous. And can I just say, just the opening scene, I want a print of the three Black girls, I'm about to tear up. This is just so basic. Like, of course, I'm tearing up the three Black girls in Paris. It was beautiful. I want a print of that. I want somebody to like, I want the print, like the photograph, and I want somebody, if they haven't already done it.
No, we need to create that ourselves. So we need to go to Paris, even though I'm against Paris, France, whatever, but I will go to create that image for us. Like, we can dip in, take the picture, and then leave and go somewhere else, like a Germany or a London, you know. But
yeah, because I never got to go to Paris. I always wanted to go. Now I hate them, but that was a dream of mine.
Let's go to Paris. Let's plan on going to Paris. Let's make that
happen. Go, and then every picture will be like this.
Yes. Oh, okay. So Splash Waterfalls comes on as she's peeing on this dude looking at the Eiffel Tower.
It was perfect.
It was. And then there's a sizzler at the end of the episode where we see Ern receive Ernest Mark's luggage.
From a very Ern type. I was like, is that delivery dude? I was like, wait, is that going to be a scene where he's like, this is me if I didn't pursue this dream? Like, that was you, bro.
And again, this scene, okay, obviously it's like, okay, this dude was real and not a figment of Ern's imagination. He was a real person. What timeline is this happening in? Is this before he started having the fucked up dreams that he had all throughout the season? Like, what's happening?
I started to go down that rabbit hole, and then I didn't have the bandwidth, so thought I'd throw that in there because I know you love when I do that. You love it. It's your favorite. Just decided to take it like kind of just wrapping it up, sort of like, because it made my head want to explode a little bit. Like, okay, wait. Just kind of, because it kind of messed with me, like the scene with Al, you know, convulsing as Al walked by, and what that almost did to my brain. I was like, nope, I can't, because I have work to do tomorrow. But like, so I just kind of took it as sort of just like
a clean bookend, because
finish like time issue, like, hey, this is the last episode. Here we go, and race and all of the through lines, because there were just so many little callbacks in this episode, just like to value, and never would have thought about Champagne Poppy, but like, you know, like with Van and really, you know, just everything, because that guy's name was, you know, his name was Ern.
His full name was Ernest Marks.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and that was him. Which made me wonder, like, but is that why the delivery dude also looked like you?
Let's go through the elements. So Are That So Atlanta was Ludacris's Splash Waterfalls.
Oh.
But come to think of it, Zoja's and Shanice's commentary all through the episode, very Atlanta. So Atlanta meaning Black, very Atlanta. There were
Atlanta. Jesus.
There were no Dariusisms. Your mystical element again was it at the end?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Ernest Marks, was he real or was he fake? What's going on? We don't know.
And I think that you could say both, because what did we say about every one of those episodes? Like, yes, we know that this is the subconscious, but these are things that are real. Like, yeah, he's dreaming, but he's dreaming about things that are real. Like, one of the reasons why The Big Payback was such like a powerful episode, and also an episode that we really related to, was reparations. Like, this is a real thing that we really do need. But we also liked it because the way that they talked about it happening was in a way that you could actually see happening, where any other time that we've seen it commented on has been in comedy, or like in a way that makes it feel like, oh, it's never going to happen. Because it's just like, there's no way that, you know, fill in the blank. But seeing it this way made it attainable, which is what led to the discussion, the very good tangent / discussion that we go on in that episode, where you talk about the reason why entertainment is important is because like that's how ideas are pushed through, where like we kind of like talk about the anti-lynching laws being passed because of these all these specials coming out and like things being pushed through the culture, which like changes hearts and minds. So it's real and quote unquote fake. So
Did you
to be said for that?
Did you see Kate or Felix in this episode? because
no, and I was looking for that because I remember you saying,
yeah, it's on IMDb that Kate and Felix do appear in this episode, but maybe it's a mistake.
I was looking for them to be at that table, or it could be one of those things where they were cut.
Yeah, because it's funny they appear
in something and get paid, and then just not make it.
They appear in the top cast listing between Shanice and Alexander Skarsgård. So maybe
they could have been at the table and covered up, or that's like that thing where you tell people, I'm gonna be in such and such, like y'all just watch, and then they cut you.
Okay, so I'm imagining like the only scenes they could have been in, they could have been one of the people in the museum scene, in the museum. They could have been sitting at the table eating the hands, or they could have been in the hood. They might have been one of those hood people. I don't know. Not Kate, but maybe Felix. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to go back and look for them.
Because I was looking for that. I was like, I didn't see anything, because I would have assumed that they would have had speaking parts.
All right, folks watching and listening, like, tweet to us or comment on podcast or video. Let us know if you see Felix or Kate from episode 9 and episode 10.
Yes, please do, because we did not see that.
Yes. So when shit got real, obviously we both had it when Van comes to her senses in the kitchen and tells Marcel to go. But when she looks around like, bitch, look at where you are. You're in the kitchen cooking hands. You're cooking hands, bitch. You just spent the entire day chasing down hands to eat.
It's like she snapped out of her fever dream.
Yeah.
It was like she had been disassociated.
Yeah, she had to come on back in.
A black woman sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be happening. That's why I'd be going out in my backyard and, burning and dancing, burning shit and dancing around the fire. That's what I gotta do. To keep everybody safe. Keep all y'all safe by doing that. You're welcome.
Thank you for watching. Rappin Atlanta is recorded and produced by Nita Sharice and Nikki Ebro. Our theme music is Joy Clark's Galaxy Groove, performed by Joy Clark. Discover more about this talented artist at joyclarkmusic.com. Rappin Atlanta's artwork is created by Prime Vice Studios. Learn more about this intellectual property development agency at primevice.com. You can find us on your favorite podcast player as well as YouTube. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and follow Rappin Atlanta on Twitter and Instagram at Rappin Atlanta.